We want to know how to open a specific workshop space in the classroom where there are multiple groups present. Let me quickly clarify the test part for you. When we want to create a test, we go ahead and create the test. We'll go through some quick steps to set it up, but after we create the test, it will show up here. In this list, it will show up for us. So when it appears here, we need to do something called adding. After we create it, it will drop down in the list. As long as it appears in the list, I have to add it. So I'll select it and hit send to start defining and setting up the options and settings for the test. When you name it like assessment 1 or the test title, description and instructions are key. You know the test description. What's the test about? How many questions? Time limit is 60 minutes. Includes multiple choice and true false. That's the description. Instructions to guide. Use laptop, update browser, answer all, click submit. Include instructions in description. Then click submit. After submit, name description. Instructions are done, but questions not added. Need to add questions. Notice many question types. Key ones are multiple choice and true false. What is the test about? How many questions are there? The time limit is 60 minutes, including multiple choice and true false questions. That's the test description. Instructions for students. Use and update the browser on a laptop, answer all questions, then click submit. We need to mention these instructions in the description. After submitting, I've created a name, description, and instructions, but haven't added questions yet. I need to add them. There are many question types, mainly multiple choice and true false. For a true false question, write any text, e.g., this is question 1, and say the answer is true, then hit send. We say it or put it in the description, and then we click the submit button. After clicking the submit button, I've created a name, description, and instructions for the test, but I still haven't added the questions inside the test. I need to come here and add the questions to the test. You'll notice that I have many types of questions, the most important ones being multiple choice and true false. So if we take a true false question, it will come up here. Let's say we write any text for the question. Just to save time, I'll say this is question 1, and I'll say that the answer is, for example, true. Then I'll go ahead and hit send. So right now, if you notice, you'll see that there's a question and its answer is supposed to be correct. This is one question I have, and the total points for it are 10 points. I want to change it to just 1 point. What do? I click here, those 10 points. I have the flexibility to set it to 1 point, 2 points, or any other value that suits my needs. This means I can adjust it to precisely the value I require, whether it's for a specific task or a general purpose. For instance, if I'm working on a project that requires precise measurements, I can easily set it to the exact point value needed. This feature is particularly useful in scenarios where multiple choices are available, allowing for a tailored approach to meet various requirements. I put the text of the question is important to me. It is necessary here in this part to write the text of my question exactly, which is here below. Let me just write the second question, and of course I will start because it is multiple choice and I have an answer. Therefore, I must have a number of answers. Here, it is specified for me that I have 4 answers and the student will choose 1 answer. So, the first answer that I marked in blue will be the correct answer when I select it here. This is the initial choice, and I'll write the first answer here. So this is the correct one. Also, for the second answer, if I select this, then the second answer will be the correct one that the system will rely on for grading. The system will check the student's answer. If the student answers with the second option, then they will get full points because the second answer is correct. But if the first answer is the correct one, I need to mark it like this and say, no, the first answer is the correct one. The student must choose a specific answer. I have the third answer and I have the fourth answer. You'll notice that I can display the answers in random order. Don't have any other important settings for this question, so I'll hit send. I have 2 questions, one worth 2 points and a question worth 10 points. So now I have 2 questions totaling 12 points. Let's say I have 20 questions or 15 questions. I have something called select all. It selects all the questions. I want each question to be worth 1 point. I write 1 here, then click on update. You'll see what happens. So now I have 2 questions. Suppose I have 20 questions or 15 questions. I have something called select all. Clicking select all, it selects all the questions. Then I'll set the points. I want each question to be 1 point. I'll set it to 1 point. Click, write one, and update. It will set all my questions to 1 point each. But if I have 20 questions, suppose 20 questions, 10 true, false, 10 multiple choice. I want the true, false questions to be 1 point and the multiple choice questions to be 2 points. What to do? Each question is worth 1 point. After writing 1, click Update. Now all questions are set to 1 point each. I have 2 questions, each worth 1 point. But if I have 20 questions, 10 true, false, and 10 multiple choice. True, false questions are 1 point, multiple choice are 2 points. Instead of selecting all, choose by type to see question types. Select true, false. All right, it set all my questions to 1 point each. So now I have 2 questions, each worth 2 points, no problem. But what if I have, for example, 20 questions? Let's say I have 20 questions, 10 true, false, and 10 multiple choice. I want the true, false questions to be worth 1 point and the multiple choice questions to be worth 2 points. What should I do? Instead of selecting all, I'll choose by type. You'll see question types. I want true, false questions, so I'll select those. It highlights true, false questions, not multiple choice. Once done, I'll set true, false questions to 2 points and update. Next, choose multiple choice questions, set them to 3 points and update. True, false are 2 points, multiple choice are 3. So, it highlighted all the true, false questions. It won't highlight the multiple choice ones. I can go to the point section and update. This sets true, false to 2 points. Then select multiple choice. Set them to 3 or 4. Set multiple choice to 3 points. Now true, false is 2 points. Multiple choice is 3. I have 2 questions. 1 2 points, 1 3, total 5. Adjust points without changing each question. I come here and tell him to choose from 3, so all the multiple choice questions, he selected them for me, and from 3 I have to click on the word update, and he will select them for me. He will update them for me. So now I have all the questions, yes or no. So all the multiple choice questions are set to 3 points, and you'll notice that I have 2 questions. One worth 2 points and one worth 3 points, making a total of 5. This way, I can easily adjust the points without having to change each question individually. So I can modify the points easily without having to adjust each question one by one myself. Dr. Jamal is asking how to add the questions after preparing them. All right, I'll continue with you on this step. After we've set up the questions, let's say we have 2 questions. For example, we'll click on the OK button. I agree. Now let's go back to the very first page where we were creating a new test. This is the first page where we were creating a new test, and you'll notice that the test is listed below with the name Assessment 1 that we created. So what we need to do is something called add. The word itself is add a test called Assessment 1. So now you will select Assessment 1 and click on the Submit button. After you click the Submit button, we'll go to the last page, which is what? It's the test settings. In the test settings, I have the test information and the description. All right, then I say, show the description, show the instructions. Let the description and instructions be visible to the students so they have access to them. For the students, I have an announcement addition. As you can see, I have a completion assignment. Let's skip that. I have a time limit set, meaning when the student enters to take their test, how many minutes will they have? Will they have 60 minutes, 80 minutes, or maybe 100 minutes? So I'll give the student 100 minutes, no problem, based on the number of questions and the existing policy. Also, I have the option for automatic submission, which is very important. The automatic submission feature is activated so that when the student reaches the time limit, the system saves the student's test and submits their attempt without the student needing to finish it. If I have disabled the student's ability to submit, they will see 100, and it will show 101, 102, 103, and 110, while the student is still working on the test. That's why I tell the system to enable automatic submission in case the student reaches 100 and doesn't want to submit their test.